totally don't have to do that, interns. I'm here with Tim Showalter. I was distracted by our interns. It happens every day. He's here with Hoosierboy Restorations. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
There are people watching right now who are like, oh, I had one of those, or oh, I want one of those. When we hold on to something dear, or when we find something at an auction or a yard sale, are there certain points, things we need to look for to determine whether or not that's really worth the effort and cost of restoration?
Sure. When you look at stuff, it's always the condition. You always want to look for condition. Make sure that the body is solid. Now, it can have rust on it, but you don't want to have holes or a lot of dents in them.
All right.
I can take care of rust. I can remove the rust and get it back to these positions like we see here. These were rust buckets when I first got them.
Okay. And we're seeing an example. That's a toy that's a before.
Right. That's a Buddy L truck that I
And look
bought.
at that. Pristine. Right. Looks like it came right off the store shelf.
Right.
Now, obviously, we're looking at metal here because, quite frankly, a lot of toys nowadays is just plastic. They don't have that nostalgia. They don't have that thing. What does the restoration do to the value? Because I know in some areas of vintage and antiques, they're better off to be left alone.
It all depends. Really, pre-war, pre-WW2, most times you don't want to restore them.
Okay.
Because you can really degrade the value. These are after World War II. This is 1959. This is in the 60s.
Okay.
The bike up front is in the 60s. I think it's good to restore them. There's not a whole lot of value involved in restoring it, but they'll last forever. And you know, I grew up in these types of cars. My little niece and nephew, they have a little plastic car. Breaks my heart when I see them riding in. So I gave them one of these, and they just love it. So
now, if somebody has something like this and they come to you, are there different considerations whether or not, well, I have a grandson and I'd like him to be able to play in it as well, or I'm just going to do it for display purposes?
You could do it either way. What I usually do in these type of things is called powder coat, and it's a type of painting process where they bake the paint right onto the coating. This stuff is hard as nails. So a kid can play with this out in the yard, leave it out in the rain. It won't rust. You can hit it with a hammer. Usually it won't chip or anything. It's really durable. So, or you can, I keep these in my house in my foyer, so when people come in, they can enjoy them that way.
Well, and that makes a huge difference in terms of restoring versus I'm going to take some steel wool to it and spray on it some Rust-Oleum. That's going to look good for a minute, but as far as keeping?
Yeah, that's the way I started out, is spray painting them, and then I've kind of gone over to the powder coating.
Now, this gas pump is gorgeous, and I know just enough about these things to be dangerous. That is an entire subculture of America, isn't it? They are very intense collectors.
Yeah, they call it Petroliana.
Okay, it has its own word.
It has its own word. This is a reproduction, and I can do a reproduction if someone wants one of these in their home or their yard. That can come out, and I can put this together for them. Or if they have their own gas pump that they want me to restore, I'll take a look at that too. And do people have different levels of restoration for a pump? I mean, some just want the face, some want the handle, some want things to turn and churn. Right, and some of them like them dirty and grimy, and others want them to be nice and clean like this. So it's all up to what you enjoy and what you like.
This bike is gorgeous, fully functional at this point, I'm guessing?
That was yard art. I was driving down the road.
It was yard art. I love that.
It was a big rust bucket, and that was my first project about 15 years ago.
Oh, really?
I stripped it and powder coated it, and I didn't chrome it or anything. Everything's original except the fenders on there and the tires.
That's gorgeous. Is this your first project?
That was my first project.
Oh man, that's awesome. Now you're probably familiar with the show American Restoration.
Oh yeah.
Does someone like him, does he make restoration seem more approachable for people, or is he sort of putting it out there because of the turnaround he does on this show is ridiculous? He's always doing things in a matter of a few days.
Right.
And sometimes the price tags are ridiculous.
Exactly. You know, he has brought out to the American public what it is to have things restored, and he's brought that to the forefront. So, you know, I applaud him. I've been doing this for 15 years. I just started my own business this year, so I've made my hobby into my profession. So, yeah, he's done a lot for the industry.
Awesome. Well, I think you're going to do a lot for the industry, too. You have a website, right? It's old toys, old stuff, but it's modern technology to get in touch with you.
Right. It's Hoosierboy Restorations.com, or like us on Facebook, Hoosierboy Restorations. And if you have something, give me a call or email me, and I'll come take a look at it.
Consultation, right?
Exactly.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing this stuff with us.
Thank you for having me.
Andy, it was yard art. Well, it's still art. It just took the yard out of it.
It is. Well, you know, what I can't get past is I remember in a Safety City, it was pre-kindergarten, we drove some of those little cars around, and I'm looking at it going, I fit into that?
With room to spare, probably.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, exactly. But beautiful stuff.
Awesome
Wow.
stuff.